Okie dokie. Now let's see. Updated. Crashes less. Why the reboot took so long? Because they had to reboot 4 times. We are back for now. It decides that we're not back anymore. It's just been randomly. It's just, but the Windows 10 sound service has always been really bad, at least for me. Maybe there's something specific about my driver set, because my motherboard is super old, so it might have something to do with that. But it has always been very unstable and slow. Like, you try to open the volume mixer and it takes like a year. But recently it's been just straight up crashing. Terrible. But I haven't updated voice meter in ages, so it might be that. Who knows? Anything else that changed? I don't think so. Alright. So, where are we? What are we doing? We are level 58. That means we can go and do this Paladin quest. I can finish eating my cake. Your situation with the people? What situation is that? I don't remember anything other than you being at work. Did I miss something? Hey, on stain. Gives us heal. I'm beginning to think I've been going about this the wrong way, Robin. Yeah, I changed my name, finally. I've been trying to undermine the whereabouts, to determine the whereabouts of Oathkeeper by retracing Solsagil's steps. But honestly, how he came to pursue and die at the hands of Death's Embrace isn't nearly as important as the fact that he did. Death's Embrace has the sword. It's the only logical conclusion. So if we find them, we find Oathkeeper. And even if I'm mistaken, we'd be doing the world a favor by bringing him to justice. I wouldn't presume to speak for Solsagil, but I'd like to think that he'd agree, don't you? Yes, well, I suppose if we're going to find them, we had best start asking around. Though there is one thing which still troubles me. I think I need to speak with 100 Eyes. An interesting situation. I'm trying to effect a positive paradigm shift in my life and future. Well, sounds incredibly vague, but oh, it's a good thing, right? Positive change is good. Super full after eating dinner. Now I'm drinking coffee. A moment of your time, please. You can stay. Sure, sure. About Zolxigil. You never told me, but exactly... How exactly did he die? How... What? I thought you said you buried him. You want me to paint you a bloody picture? He was murdered. I found him and buried him. That's all you need to know. Oh, okay, he buried him. Just that... The other day, I could have sworn that I... Forgive me, I don't know what I was thinking. Don't let me keep you from your labors. Let us resume our hunt for Death's Embrace. I'm going to hunt for... Cyprien. Nice. Death's Embrace? Those bandits used to raid caravans bound for Tailfeather. No one's seen neither hide nor hair of them recently. Why do you ask? Cool downs, eh? Maybe they ran back to warmer climate. 0 out of 10, why did you change the name to Reuben? Because that's my name, dude. Thanks. Appreciate it. Never understood Southrons myself. Queer folk. Prone to inexplicable and irrational behavior, like those buffoons who attempted to seize the protector of all things. Apparently they snuck aboard some of the airships ferrying supplies to Camp Cloudtop. Of course, the knights drove them off. Last I heard, they had fled into the wilds, screaming Thal's balls, this and Swyven Horson's that. Are you thinking what I'm thinking, Robin? Admittedly, we have no reason to believe that these men are the ones we seek. But we've been blessed with serendipity before. There's no harm in investigating, at least. Wait. Wait. Fine. Fine. Why didn't you make it Reuben? Because I'm not Gibbs and I'm not retarded. That's fine. The Uldans who tried to seize the Protector. Aye, I remember them. Baffling, really. Signed their own death warrants with their ill-conceived attack. You can be sure that House Halenot won't allow them to leave these isles alive. Death's Embrace, eh? I suppose it's possible they're bandits. They're the bandits you seek. You're welcome to help us hunt them down if you like. The boy too, yes? He can join my unit. Given your reputation, I think you're better suited to the van. I won't let you down. We gather at the Rose House. Come, let us delay no further. There. So I wasn't sure what to name my character because you need a first name and a last name. I just wanted to change it to... I had to figure out a last name. So I was kind of looking up Mikote names in the game. And I started reading about the Mikote surnames. Apparently, they have they generally, like, there are different tribes, but generally they have, it consists of like a letter and then an apostrophe and then a name, and then the letter indicates what like family or clan they're from, and then after that they have a little surname. It's not a surname, it's more like a title, which is either Noon or Tia. And Noon is basically the leader, but it's not only the leader, it is the cat who gets to breed. And Tia is all of the other male cats. So it literally means incel cat. Yeah. That's what I went with. Should be named Rebin some days when you code stream. Yeah, maybe that's true. Makes me very sad sometimes. Almost out of cake. Have to demolish it, all of it. Glad to have you with us, Master Tia. Master Incel. Would that we could speak at length, but the Uldans are aware of our plans and have already fled to the east. What flavor of cake? What do you mean what flavor? It's cake flavored. It has multiple flavors. Remember that these are desperate, dangerous men. Advance with caution, and wait for reinforcements if necessary. With me. Got cream on it, and it's got some sprinkles, and it's got, I think it has strawberries. Then it's, I think it's vanilla. Other layer. Oh. Tastes like cake. Honestly, I wish I didn't have it. I just want to stop eating sugar entirely, but it's really hard. This is partially why I started baking bread. I make bread with literally zero. Oh, ridiculous preservatives.
His ass.
Damn, proofing a bread. It's been rising for almost 24 hours now. Gonna add some more flour to it. Yeah. And then for another 24 hours. Wish I still had the equipment to make bread. That you don't have an oven or like one bowl. That's all you need. I don't know quite yet, but I feel like... I feel like it's not quite as hard as it looks. You can make it on the stove. In fact, my mom made a Sami bread called gakun. So, and it's... honestly, it's really, really good. Gakun. Well fought, Master Tia. Their leader was surely the toughest of the lot. Lady Lenier would be pleased to learn of our success. I shall inform her at once. Caleb laughed at my RP name. What have you got there? Gallant gauntlets. Why would a member of Death's Embrace be carrying these? There's no way he could have possibly planned this. It's too elaborate. Nay, impossible. But what other explanation could there be? We should return to Falcon's Nest. But yeah, like, the whole kneading part of bread making, I feel like there is probably some techniques there to make it so much easier. Because when you just read about it, most recipes are just like, yeah, just add this much flour and then you knead for like 15 to 20 minutes or what. But it's just so much easier to do that whole thing, because the whole point of kneading it is to get air into it, as far as I understand. And it's just so much easier to do that before you add all that flour. So you can just add like the same amount of flour as have water. Then you just use a whisk and just whisk it for like 5 to 10 minutes. And then you start adding more flour to it and just keep kneading it. But just add more and more flour. That way you're not like kneading super dense bread all the time and like getting any air into it anyway. Like, at least in my opinion, that has to be the proper strat. I forget to... Before we cornered the leader, we came across their camp. It was plain to see that they had fallen on hard times, hence why they resorted to common banditry to survive. But isn't it strange when you think about it? I mean, if they had Oathkeeper, why not simply sell it? Surely someone would have been willing to pay for it. I'm beginning to wonder if Solzagil succeeded in reclaiming the sword, or if Death's Embrace ever had it at all. And by the Fury, what to make of these pieces of armor? Just as I suspected, it fits perfectly. Why would it fit perfectly? He had to refit the legs. Whatever remnants of Death's Embrace there may be, will stay in hiding for some time, I should think. But should they dare to reveal themselves, we will finish what we started, as Solzagil intended. Fine, we've got the heal. Where do I put the heal? I don't really want the heal. I think we put the heal on hiding. Goes to 7. Whee! That's what you can do now. Holy barrier nullifying damage. Do I not get that? Upon hit point recovery via healing magic cast by self or a party member, a protective barrier is cast on all party members within a radius of 15 yards. Duration 30 seconds. Grants damage up to 10% of your maximum hit points. Doesn't work on me. Speak with Alpino in Ishgard. But the reason I wanted to try proofing it for a long time is when I made pizza. The first time I made, like, I made pizza dough, and it ended up being enough for 2 pizzas. So I just made 1 pizza Friday, and then I let it sit till the day after, I think. Was it 2 days after? Might have been 2 days. And it was a really, really large difference in taste. It was much, much better. Otherwise, it just tastes like... It just tastes like dough. Don't let it sit for a day. Paladin is situated in the Dravinian hinterlands. To get there, we must strike west and traverse the breadth of the Dravinian forelands. Make no mistake, it will be a grueling journey. The party shall be comprised of Robin, Ishtola, and myself. Tataru, pray remain in Ishgard and return to this and continue the search for our missing friends. Yes, sir! First, let us make for Tailfeather. Yeah, I mean, it tastes fine, but it's... just, like, not very interesting tastes at all. It's edible, but that's about it. I wonder what else you can put into the dough. Like if you can put any spices, like literally just pepper into it or some shit. A long soak in the livestream, followed by a long journey. I would not recommend it to anyone. But rest assured, my strength is returning to me. I shall be back to my former self ere long. I believe I am sufficiently rested. Let us continue west to Sharlayan. Once we descend the mountain path, we will arrive at the Dravinian hinterlands. From there it is but a short distance to the city. Be warned that we shall be passing through Nath territory. We must needs to be wary of them, and the dragons both. Been here before, it's fine. So there, now let's teleport. But I do want to experiment with some things. I'm still just making big breads. But I want to start making smaller breads just to try experimenting with random things. Like, for example, oiling the crust for one. Oiling the crust before you put it in, oiling the crust after it's been in. Maybe egging the crust? I don't really know what you can do. I don't know when you egg things, if that's just for pastries.
To the Thaliac River, where to the melted snows of Abelathia's spine eventually find their way by means of 1,000 silver streams. Whose waters have long nourished the Dravanian hinterlands, and so provided for a settlement of learned souls from across the northern seas. To the city of Sharlayan, that great seat of knowledge now abandoned by her keepers, they came.
Hold on, I gotta post the soy jack. Matoya dwells on the far side of the Thaliac River. Let us search for a crossing. Hi, dude. Be around. Find a place to cross the river. I have a airship. The bridge ahead is collapsed. I'm afraid we shan't be crossing there. But worry not, I know another way. See you the towering structure to the north. We should be able to cross there. But 15 years abandoned, and already Sharlayan has fallen into such a disarray. Verily, the city is no more than its inhabitants. I'm just going to resort to posting sword decks at people now on. Because I have an absolutely unresistible desire to call people very, very bad names all the time. You can't do that. Like, you literally can't even call someone stupid on Twitter. That will get you locked. Knowledge seeks no man. So says the motto of Sharlayan engraved upon yonder stone. The meaning is simple. It falls to us to seek enlightenment. During the 6th astral era, at the turn of the 13th century, men from the northern region of Sharlayan journeyed across the seas to Eorzea in search of knowledge. Upon arriving at these shores, they established a camp for their scholarly endeavors. Over time, this camp grew into a settlement, and the settlement prospered. So much that it came to be counted among Eorzea's great city-states. Alas, those glory days are now but a fading memory. With her keepers lost to her, Sharlayan has become an empty husk of her former self. Shock! Hold on to your hats. One second. Uplander is mistaken. Sharlayan has new keepers. It's on cusp of new age of glory. What? No! Goblins! Here to plunder the city. Uplander is mistaken, muchly. We are not thieves. This place is our home. Your home? When last I looked, it was mine and Alphinaud's. We were born here. Shum! When Uplanders abandoned city, Uplanders gave up claim. Born here or no, Uplanders are trespassers. My friends, please. We did not come to dispute your claims to this land. Our purpose here is peaceful. We desire but to cross the river. Be calm, I beg you, and let us speak like the civilized folk that we are. Surely we can come to a mutual understanding. Kill Alphinaud? Alright. If that is truth, then Uplanders are welcome here. Come with Slowfix. Slowfix will show Uplanders settlement. Thankfully, there's not that much goblin stuff, I think. Unless you do the raid, Alexander. because then there's so much goblins. Like oh, it never stops. And they all talk like that all the time. They're like, oh, much gobbly things. Here's the clunky wonk. Terrible. Here is heart of settlement. Name is Idleshire. What have we got here? Guests? Greetings to you. I am Alfino Levieur, and may I introduce my companions, Robin, Tia, and Gestola. We have journeyed far in search for a friend, and seek to cross the river. But finding the main bridge collapsed, you went looking for a detour, and ended up stumbling into Slowfix and his crew, is that right? That is the short of it, aye. This place, Idleshire. I came expecting a ghost town. Suffice it to say, I'm surprised to find it so alive. Well, with all them precious artifacts lying about, it's only a matter of time before treasure hunters like me moved in. But we weren't the first to arrive, neither. By then, Slowfix and his gobby friends were all already settled. At first, gobbies and hunters disliked each other, but understanding came, then friendship. Now gobbies and hunters have joined hands to build a great new nation. So that's what happened after we Charlins departed. Imagine just being able to move into the woods. You're like, we're gonna build a nation here. Like, just me and like these 10 dudes, we're building a nation. No, it's not a town, it's a nation. Oh, so you're locals. No hard feelings, I hope. All these nice buildings, but no one to live in. Felt like a waste, you know? We've been trying to put the place to rights, and things have been going well for the most part. But it ain't all smooth sailing. Not to sound ungrateful, but the traps your people left lying about are a bloody nuisance. And there's the Illuminati, carrying us day and night. Snowfix has bright idea. Uplanders desire mutual understanding, yes? Best way to understanding is helping one another. Help citizens of Idleshire, and Uplanders can be citizens too. Citizens are free to cross river. Well, I am not aware of a quicker way to reach our destination. Let us assist Slowfix and his people. Oh no. Brace Valgor and Shiva weren't actually having sex. They were just like hugging each other. This nation is doomed? Why? Why do they have to interbreed? Can't the goblins just have sex with the goblins? So, Uplanders agree to help. Good. Here is what Slowfix wants Uplanders to do. Many golems prowl Idleshire, get in the way of expansion plans. Slowfix want Uplanders to eliminate golems. Uplanders are Charlayan, yes? Charlayans would know best way to deal with creatures. So we are to eliminate the golems. That should be a simple enough affair. The automata were employed as sentinels, and by design can be unmade with a coded command. At the time of the Exodus it was noughts and crosses, and I see no reason why it should not still work. So we will at least be 2 nations? Okay. A nation is a community of people formed on the basis of a common language, history, ethics, a common culture, and in many cases a shared territory. A nation is more overtly political than an ethnic group and has been described as a fully mobilized, institutionalized ethnic group. So no, they don't have to be the same race. No, it's just, your cringe garbage. Your source is the Romans. Well, Romans are cringe, so I don't really care. The automata were employed as sentinels, and by design can be unmade with a coded command. At the time of the Exodus, it was noughts and crosses, and I see no reason why it should not still work. Let us divide the task between the three of us, and the quicker to be finished with. Yours is divine? Well, that doesn't mean anything, so... Okay, I don't care. Also, the Romans are cringe. They... Noughts and crosses. With a shudder, the golem crumbles to pieces. With words. We defeated the golems with the words. Golems are no more? Wonderful! Now we can resume work to expand settlement. Uplanders helped Goobyflock, earned right to be citizens of Idleshire. Snowfix must ask another favor. Another favor, you say? Short time ago, dear friend of Snowfix ventured into Illuminati territory. Illuminati are nasty goblins, show no mercy even toward Scobby King. Snowfix fears for friend's life. Please find friend before Illuminati do. I am suddenly taken by a sense of foreboding. Be that as it may, we cannot turn a blind eye. Let us make haste and find Snowfix's friend. I have 20 plus Twitter notifications and all of them are monarchists arguing with a room temperature person. Well, it sounds like, disappoint yourself. I don't use Twitter, so I don't. Maker's Quarter. Where do you want me to go? There. Way cooler. Way cooler is an overstatement, but they did get it in the story, so I had to switch to it because that's now our official air mount, the monocutter. Oh, Brave Flocks. Goodly Uplander. Look, long time no eye catch. What is bringing Uplander here? Does Uplander have lusty eyes for junk of Brayflocks? Uplander must not be touching junk of Brayflocks. Brayflocks is finding junk first. I knew I recognized that voice. Greetings, Brayflocks. It has been a while. Forgive us for interrupting your work. But Captain Wisecat gave me to understand that you are marked by the Illuminati. Captain Wisecat? What? Wisecat isn't here. Wisecat gave me to understand that you are marked by the Illuminati. This happens to be Illuminati-held territory. Is it wise to be here? Brayflocks eat Illuminati for synopsis. Oh, they don't. Who eats who for synopsis? Wah! Brayflocks all talks. Unwise you are to come here after dirty taking secret knowings of cheese make from Illuminati. Brayflocks did no one right. Cheese recipe is gobby birthright. Save tongue flaps for trading in Death Pit. Thanks. Pray to Godfathers, for punishment is near times. It appears we have no choice. To Death Pit with you! Come on. I've got something in my eye. Whence came all these bombs? Question, dude. Seems a good a time as any. For what? I shall invoke a spell. Nice. Pray, keep the enemy at bay. Okay. Why does she get to do stuff like that? I hate that. I always hate when NPCs get to be like 10 times stronger than you can. Like, you suck. Why can you do that? Why can't we do that?
Ether, to me. Have at you.
Bam. It is done. Amazing. How did you learn such a potent spell? Huzzah! Uplander is Brayflox's Iron Fist. Illuminati nomad for furious conflicts of Brayflox. More junkies awaiting Brayflox muchly. Brayflox is taking leave of Uplanders. Being embroiled in a cheese war was the last thing I expected coming to Charlotte. At any rate, we have fulfilled Slowfix's request. Let us return with good tidings and be on our way. We can check the newest gear we can buy now. Who is the trader? Battle gear. That's what we can get. Just unsure if I might be maybe have this already. Doesn't say. I'm just gonna buy it. Really worse? $139. $145. It's got one more strength. Is that all you're going by? That's stupid. And now we got a new fit. What weapon can we buy? Really, 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 really ugly. That's... Alright. Good enough. Uplanders are back! Did Uplanders find friend of Slowfix? Time has not cured recklessness of brave flocks. Without help from Uplanders, brave flocks would now be dead gobbing. Slowfix owes Uplanders debt of gratitude. Slowfix and brave flocks are joined by unseverable gobby bond. If Slowfix had known that Uplanders are friends of brave flocks, Slowfix would have welcomed Uplanders to Gobbyflock at the first meeting. Oh, you two are married? Alright. Uplanders have upheld bargain most highly. As promised, Slowfix makes Uplanders honored citizens of Idleshire, free to cross river at will. Though Uplanders must leave for now, Slowfix hopes that Uplanders will pay many visits and help build a great new nation. You are most kind, my friend. You may be certain that we will return. I must confess, at first it upset me to learn that my home had been occupied by others, but I see now that it is in good hands. Under your care, I look forward to seeing Charlian thrive once more, to become a home to people of all races and creeds. Slowfix has already ordered the Gobwatch to let Uplanders through. Safe travels. Charlian is a multicultural melting pot. Alphino, Robin, shall we then? Are you seriously not aware of what NFTs are already? By order of Chief Slowfix, Uplanders can come and go at will. One moment for clearing away barricade. Finally, we can continue our journey. An NFT is a picture that is linked to a crypto blockchain key, so that it's unique, and then people are selling those pictures, and because people can see like what something has been sold for before on the blockchain, people will buy their own things for like literally like $100,000, and then it will show this thing is worth $100,000, and then they will try to sell that because it's worth it. And that's what they do. Like they literally buy their own things to up the value, and then they pretend that they are worth that, and then they sell it. And then there's like a million people who are like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, I want this, this is worth money. And then they see that people are making money, which they aren't, and then they create a like this, and then they create a fake market. This is literally exactly how like high art works. Like modern art is literally the exact same thing as this. That's why modern art is so expensive, because it's literally inflated value for its own internal market. It doesn't actually have any value. Why can't they draw pictures that are pretty? Because they are literally retarded people. That's why. Ahem. Barring any misadventure, we shall soon arrive at the cave where Matoya resides. Unless you have unfinished business in Idleshire, let us strike out at once. I am ready whenever you are. Let us go and meet the legendary Matoya. What is your question? Why do they get pissed off when people say they're PNGs? They're retarded. Like, didn't I just say that they are retarded? It's literally like random Zoomers who are like grown up on Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin's like all they know, and they're like, wow, Bitcoin. And Zoomers don't know how computers work. Then they're like, oh no, you can do this? What the fuck? I think, like, I want to think that a lot of these that are circling around are like not actually quite real. That they're really dumb mistakes. But you never know. Like, people are really stupid. So stupid that I literally lose all my energy and will to do things sometimes. Ahead lies the answering quarter, where the scholars of Charlatan gathered to hone their knowledge. Even from this distance, 'tis plain that much of it has been given back to the wilderness. Hopefully we can see the coolest character in this entire game now. I think we can. Let's go and see if we can find him. The cave in which Matoya resides is situated to the southern edge of the hinterlands. In choosing the spot, my master desired privacy above all else. As such, the cave is extremely well hidden. You will not find it unless you know to look for it. We shall follow the road south until we reach a bridge. Rather than cross it, however, we shall ford the stream it spans. Thence head straight until we arrive at the base of a bluff. And I hate NFTs because a lot of it is just people trying to cash in on like this whole quote-unquote 8-bit shit. Especially those dumb faces. So now the pixel art hashtag that already had like one thing worth saving like every 14 days is now absolutely filled to the brim with the most dog shit stuff I have ever seen. And it's absolutely impossible to get it out of there. Try to get me into NFTs. Run away. It's literally a scam. They use the word crypto, but it has nothing to do with the crypto. It's not the same. It's not related even. Not really. Crypto is good, NFT bad. This is the entrance. Huh? You seem unconvinced, Robin. Well, that will only add to the surprise. A word of warning before we proceed. Stubborn geniuses make poor hosts, and time will have done naught to improve my master's temperament. Doubt not that there will be sentinels and traps both to deter unwanted guests. But we'll not be deterred, will we? Go on and touch the wall yonder. You will want to have your weapon near at hand. He has an OpenSea account with one of those retarded monkeys. See, it's just a bunch of people literally stealing each other's stuff. They just copy-paste it and then they like change it a little bit. And then they're like, you can't steal my NFTs that I have literally stolen. But like I said, it's nothing but like high art trading, like modern art rich people trading their shit between each other for literally for tax breaks and to make money, because there will always be like literally retarded rich people who will buy the things because they actually buy in to the whole like the value of it, and because they're not smart enough to realize that it's literally a scam, and they just can't resist their collectors drive, because that's what they're doing. They're targeting people's collection drive, because everybody has it to some degree, and some people are basically addicts. Like they can't not collect. The like people who have like 400 anime figurines can't fall into that category, for one. But then people who are even richer than that, they will buy this kind of shit. So this is what they do. They inflate their own values by buying their own things, and then they can sell it to some schmuck who is too rich to understand what he's doing. And then they create like a fake little market around it, because people also want to do this thing that they don't realize is literally a scam. And it like the only thing that it has in common with crypto is that it uses the same kind of blockchain stuff that crypto uses. But crypto itself, like you might think that crypto is a scam, which it can be, because there's like shitloads of different coins and whatever. But crypto at its core is literally just like trying to safeguard humanity from the yoke of government control. Like that's what crypto is doing, and that's why crypto is in theory a really good thing. If it manages to do this, that's another question. But the only thing, literally the only thing that NFTs can achieve is that people start reworking the way the internet and computers work to accommodate this shit. And that will make everything even worse than it is. Like that is literally the only thing that it can do. There's nothing good about it. Except someone making money, I guess. I don't really care about that. That's true. I have a dough that's sitting around, Marcus. I put 5 deciliters of water, and I put 5 deciliters of flour in it, and it's sitting there bubbling for almost 24 hours. I don't know if that's too long to keep it in there with only like not all of the flour, but that was what the recipe said. So tonight I'm going to add the rest of the flour, and I'm going to knead it. Then it's gonna sit until tomorrow. Another 24 hours. Keeping it under a damp cloth. Though it said that I should keep it in the fridge for the last 24 hours. I don't know if there's anything to that. Or if I should just keep it outside. No, I'm not. I'm gonna do it. Put it into the oven tomorrow. But apparently we have to level up. I was completely convinced that I was going to be able to do the next dungeon for that, but apparently not. 59. I was trying to do this earlier today, not to have to waste time doing a dungeon on stream early. The roulettes hadn't reset. Do you ever spice your bread in any way? Like, put any spices into the dough? I'm not sure what you can do. Other than just, like, salt it more. This is good. Oregano. This is a high level dungeon. This means we get decent XP for actually doing the dungeon. Rosemary and oregano. Meow! Hello, Nicholas. How's it going? Dinner. Kitty. Oh. Oh. I'm gonna start this. DPS. Started my DPS meter. Don't know what the yellow thing above my head is supposed to be. Should make some gakkun. Or Need to transcribe the recipe for gakul for my Americans. Oregon. Crypto Dragon. God damn, this dancer is insane. Doing 600 DPS. Summoner sucks ass though. He's doing half as much as I am, and I'm the tank. How's that even possible? It's actually not super uncommon, or I think rather it's more common with summoners that they are like super bad at AoE. It's not because the class is bad at it, but it's because they're basically like World of Warcraft warlocks. They have a pet and... Why are you attacking the things? Why? But they apply dots. I think they have 2 or maybe 3 dots. But then they have an ability that spreads the dots to nearby targets. But it says like that it will reduce damage by like 50% for each additional target. And I've seen so many people who refuse to use it because of this. They're like, but that's so much, it sucks, it does no damage. And then they're just like applying all the dots manually to all the targets. That when they don't realize that it's one button. Because it's one button, it's like 10 times more DPS than doing anything else. And I hope they change this astrologian spell. It's so annoying. It's probably the worst spell in the entire game for its disability. And it doesn't even look cool. In my opinion, at least. It's kind of ugly. Giant ball spell that he keeps doing, but it's not gonna do it here because it's a single scenario. I think. Didn't do it. Damn it. So you bitch about me playing this game, but you have no idea. If there was a single MMO that was worth playing, I would be so deep into that shit. There's none, so you're lucky. There it is, the big ball. Such a fucking boomer. Arrogant insects. Like, even if just Diablo 3 was good, I could still be playing that shit. But it's just not. RuneScape is greater than Skyrim? No, it's not. RuneScape is absolutely horrible. Skyrim is 100 million times better. RuneScape is greater than ESO? No, it's not. ESO is better than Skyrim as well. Well, Skyrim is better at being Skyrim. Because Skyrim, the only thing Skyrim does well, literally the only thing, is that it has nice looking trees and, like, roads. That's it. Like, that is all. And it's better at that. Like, the environments are nicer in Skyrim. Those words only go together if you put the words "isn't very." Yeah, but I still think Diablo 3 is, or could have been, or is at least in the correct direction for what is the proper direction for RPGs. Like, at its core, Diablo 3 is much better than any other ARPG. But then literally everything else about the game makes it like the worst ARPG ever made. Those sentinels may suffice to discourage the average trespasser, but not the warrior of light. Way should now be clear. Come, let us go and see my master. Martin has played 2 MMOs. He has played Adventure Quest and RuneScape. No, he has played Shia Online as well. 3. He's played 3.
Don't you know it's rude to enter without knocking? The youth of today. No manners at all.
Meanwhile, I have played all of them except for Shia. I don't think I have ever tried Shia. Maybe I have. The thing is, it's an area games game, and all area games are the same game, copy pasted over and over and over. Like they literally just reskin their MMOs and re-release. I don't want to play this.
Though we neglected to knock, we did create something of a commotion. I had hoped that would suffice.
Oh, he's played Ion.
Heavy-handed as ever, I see, and still not a hint of grace. Some things never change.
I actually really liked Ion, except that it was terrible.
To give credit where credit is due, I learned from the best. It has been too long, Master Matoya.
Indeed it has. Oh, it's good to see you again, my girl. And with your fiery spirit unquenched. But look at you, all grown up and womanly. The one there in the fancy duds, that's Louis Soir's granddaughter, I take it?
Grandson, begging your pardons. You knew my grandfather, my lady.
Knew him? Ha! We were constantly at each other's throats. Like rabid dogs we were. Oh, he was a stubborn bugger, was your grandfather. Never a dull moment when he was around, though, I'll give him that. As for you, boy, I've known you since you were a rosy-cheeked babe at the teat.
Martin has played like 10 games in his entire life. 6 of them are MMOs. Yeah, I know what you mean, Dispus. I understand. They were terrible, but I mean, it's the same with any game, really. They were all more fun then. It was just as much about just the potential and like the exploration of the thing that was new, as much as it was like the actual game itself. The player base was better as well. I don't know about that. Now humanity is worse. Well, yeah, it kind of is. It kind of is. There's more French people who speak English as well, which is really bad.
And my sister too, I gather. May I say what an honor it is to meet you again, my lady?
Spare me the hollow pleasantries, boy. I'll wager my remaining good teeth you didn't come to a forgotten corner of Eorzea to flirt with a wrinkly old woman. Now out with it. What is it you need of me? Azizla. I never thought I'd hear that name again.
You are familiar with it.
As familiar as one can get from poring over musty old tomes. The Alagons set the Isle afloat not long before the sun set on their empire. Old Louis Soir and I often talked about it. The place is home to a research facility dedicated to finding ways of mastering mighty beings, such as primals and dragons. And find ways it did too, frightening ones. Such secrets as lie buried on Azizla aren't fit to see the light of day. And now you tell me a band of dragon-baiting primal botherers are trying to dig them up?
Indeed. And to make matters worse, the Ascians have a hand in their plot. They must be stopped, no matter the cost.
I see. Very well.
You will help us then? Truly? I had not anticipated such an impassioned response. Could it be that the presence of young blood has stirred your own?
Ah, some things never change. One day that pertness is going to cost you your tail, my girl. Don't say I didn't warn you. Twas some 50 years ago, shortly after Garlemald had brought all of Ilsabard under its rule. Faced with the threat of invasion, the people of Sharlayan scrambled about for a means to resist the Empire. For my part, I was tasked with developing an etheric converger.
Ah, yes. A device which draws in ether and concentrates it to produce a destructive force.
But as my research neared its end, it was denounced by the Forum, who claimed that my device was more likely to destroy us than our enemies. After that, they and I had a little falling out, and I decided to seal away all the fruits of my research, lest the dunder-headed ingrates reap any benefit. Ha! Petty, I know, but gods, it was satisfying.
Martin, what's your favorite CRPG? And when you say CRPG, what do you mean? You mean games, isometric games like Baldur's Gate, Pillars of Eternity, or does that include Skyrim? Does that include Does it include Dragon Age? It's a pretty vague term. That's why I have to ask. Computer, see, like it's a genres are retarded. It's like the term JRPG, for example. Like technically, it includes like Dark Souls and Final Fantasy VII in the same genre, but it doesn't really.
Do mine ears deceive? 'Twas you, was it not, who was so fond of saying that all knowledge exists to advance mankind, that how it is used depends on us?
I don't remember. Perhaps. All right, yes. It was a pet phrase of mine. And that should give you a notion of how sick and tired I was of those spineless wretches of the Forum. All talk and no trousers, that lot. That's why I decided to remain behind, rather than join the Exodus.
You may have had your disagreements with my grandfather, but upon that point, your minds were as one.
No, it's not. It's an action RPG, if anything.
With
Basically.
respect, Master, the fruits of your research should not be left to spoil. Will you share with us the secrets of the etheric converger?
Basically, this question is irrelevant because Martin has never played a CRPG.
Aye, I will. All the information you need is contained in a tome I wrote on the subject. But you'll have to fetch it from the forbidden section of the Great Library.
Ah, you were not exaggerating when you said that you had sealed it away. Though the city is abandoned, the library's guardians are all but certain to remain. We must needs cut a path through them. Come, let us away.
Not a CRPG, that's also an action RPG.
Not so fast, you lot. Stola and the boy are staying with me.
Good storytelling? Well, that's a stretch.
I need help to make new sentinels to replace the old ones you walloped. They'll be board and lodging, don't you worry. But know that you'll have to work for them. Hard. I'll have no sluggards in my house.
Oh, the Great Library's guardians shouldn't pose any difficulty for a hero like you. You'll hardly notice Stola's absence. And the girl, boy, whatever, would only get in your way. But if it turns out you aren't up to the task, then... well, then I'll know you can't be trusted with something as dangerous as an etheric ram. Now the library's entrance is locked tight. I'll loan you one of my servants to open it. The broom yonder. Well, what are you waiting for? Introduce yourself, boy. Lastomania is pretty good. Should we play some Lastomania? Greetings, good sir. I am Broomsy, my lady's servant of some 50 years. May I say what an honor it is to serve you? I am given to understand that you wish to enter the Great Google Library. To find it, pray head east upon leaving this cave. The building will come into view shortly after you reach the collapsed bridge. Google Baldur's Gate. Have you played a game that looks like Baldur's Gate? If the answer is no, then the answer is no. Quantum Blade does not count. That's a no. So yes, he has never played a CRPG. I think, personally, my favorite CRPG is probably Torment. Ties of Numenera. But that's like for very specific reasons. It's a very unique game, which I really enjoyed about it. But there was like 10 battles in the entire game. It was the best game ever made. Oh, Machine Blade is so bad. I really wish it was good. What game? Oh, you didn't hear me? I said Torment. Tides of Numenera. But it has its own problems. You stand before the Great Google Library, one of Heidelin's foremost repositories of knowledge. Alas, it has fallen into disuse since the Exodus some summer since. In all those years, its halls have welcomed not the coming of a single soul. Its floors felt not the loving brush of a broom. Mine apologies, sir. Pray pay no mind to the dreams of a humble broom. You are doubtless eager to venture within and retrieve my lady's tome. I shall unlock the door at once. When you have what you seek, pray return to the cave and report to my lady. Yeah, the first one isn't the first one, it has nothing to do with it. Also, the first one is dog shit. Planescape Torment is so bad. It's probably the worst CRPG I have played. That's my take on that game. Absolutely hate it. The only thing that's good about it is like the first like 2 hours when you're still like just walking around in town. Because the game looks cool, it feels really cool, it has like a really nice setting to it. But after a while, like the story in the game is absolutely horrendous. And so is the gameplay, of course. It's a typical CRPG, like they're really bad. And after a while, there's like no logic to the game. I feel like I'm playing like Deponia or something in it. Like you're literally just walking around talking to every single NPC and clicking everything on the map to like figure out what you can do. When you get to the market district, and you have to like figure out, what are you even figuring out there? You're just like walking around like collecting mugs, and then you like put some ice into a mug for no reason, and then you go to like some flying like birds in the museum, and then no, that's the ice, I think. And then you use the ice on like something completely random again. I was using a wiki at that, or a walkthrough at that point. And then when you finally finish the game and you get the ending, and you're like, wait, was that the bad ending? And then you like look it up on YouTube, and you're like, wait, no, that was the good ending. Like all the endings are terrible. But I do understand people's attachment to the game. I just think it's a really bad game. And that's also why Torment gets such a bad rep. Because it's not Planescape Torment. It's a completely different game. So people are just like going into it expecting to like replay that game they played as kids. And it's nothing alike at all. Like, not even a little bit. It's a completely different world, completely different game system, completely different everything. Like I said, I think that Torment, the newer one, the new Torment, I think it's a really cool game. Because it does things in like, it's probably one of the only CRPGs that does the whole like talking and choice thing. And like branching paths and whatnot, and role-playing your character. It does that like really well. But the entire game is less a CRPG and more a gigantic visual novel. Because there's such ridiculous amounts of talking and dialogue. Like it never ends. Especially if you do the side quests. It's like it's forever. Talk. And then, like I said, literally 10 fights in the entire game in my playthrough. So people who expect a typical CRPG and buy it and go into it are like mega disappointed. Pillars of Eternity 1 and 2 good. I have yet to play 2. Pillars of Eternity 1 is okay, but the story is terrible. Because it isn't finished. It just ends. When you feel like the game's about to like get going, that's when it ends. Otherwise, it's decent. But in Torment, there's a lot of like dialogue options that are about like attempting to pry open a door or lockpicking or convincing people, etc., etc. But it's not just RNG. Like you have points to spend to like increase your chances, and those points increase when you level up, and you get to like choose how to spec your character for that kind of stuff. But that's not all. It also makes failing interesting, because sometimes you get a more interesting result by failing something than you do by succeeding. And because of this, it actually gets like the same kind of feeling when you're playing a tabletop game, because it's more about the story and the storytelling that your choices make than just like succeeding or failing at you know, you're trying to convince this guy, no, it just failed. Okay, that's just it. Like you just, because that's how it is in most RPGs. But then there's too much talking in it, and well, I really like the setting actually. The levels and such aren't really as interesting as they could be. Sometimes it feels almost like they just didn't know what they were doing with the level design. They just like put things there, kind of. But if I were to pick a CRPG that isn't Witcher 3, if we don't want to call that a CRPG, because I really personally wouldn't, then I would definitely pick that game. Like Baldur's Gate 2 is nice. I think Baldur's Gate 1 is really, really bad. But Baldur's Gate 2, while it is nice, it's only like nice because it was good when you were a kid, to be honest. It's still kind of shallow. And it has, you know, D&D gameplay, which is really bad. So I'm not like super hype on Baldur's Gate 2, even though it is on the top list for sure. It's not like Planescape Torment that I wish to like cancel the earth. Have you played Underrail? No, I haven't. I just hear keeps mentioning it now and then. But I don't know what he actually thinks about it. You play Disco? I did play Disco Elysium. I like Disco Elysium. Even though it's made by a bunch of SJWs, but they did it like in an actually decent way. Because I could play a racist, which was really funny. Martin hated it though. was whining like the entire time. Watch it. Hey, watch it. But yeah, I really like it. At least I remember that, but I don't know if I actually had any issues with it. Probably. I usually do. I'm not good at overlooking things. Guys do too much damage. I keep losing my aggro. I haven't played Fallout in a long time. And I actually never really played Fallout 1 much. I only played Fallout 2. I had that on CD. I'm not sure how I would judge it now. I think it's still pretty decent from like an RP point of view. It's definitely better than the Bethesda games, unless you don't like the gameplay. Because it's just turn-based. You shoot people in the face. It's not really that deep. My Zoomer Smooth Brain can't play CRPGs? Why? Takes way too long. Understandable. You can't process turn-based fights, but what does... When you say that, what kind of turn-based games are we talking? Because there's turn-based, like actual turn-based, or there's like Pathfinder with real time with pause, which is like pretending to be. Because CRPG, like playing Pathfinder Kingmaker on real time is like the most retarded shit ever. I wouldn't even bother playing it if it was real time itself. It's so bad. Which is why Baldur's Gate kind of sucks. Because all you do really is you go into battle, and then hopefully before the enemies have like started triggering their scripts, you just queue up like 4 fireballs with 4 different characters and just nuke everything to death before it gets to me. That's how those games are played. And it's just really, it's just bad. Fallout-esque turn-based, not Pokemon turn-based. Yeah, I mean Fallout turn-based, that's proper turn-based. But turn-based has its own issues. It's slow, and because it's so slow, you can kind of lose track of what's happening. I can kind of do that in XCOM. You kind of lose track of where you have characters and shit just because it's so brawl. Take a walk, dude. Managed to open. Talk to man. The ever-living bibliothèque. Okay, so here people get targeted by the boss, and when they do, they have to run away, and they have to run between these circles because then they have to place these little red balls that keep pulsating damage. And if you place them near the boss, then you can't fight the boss. But if you place them on top of a circle, then we can't step on the circles. We have to wait it. Now, we have to step on the circles. Now we have to do two people to stand on them. Now they have to run away, don't stand there. Here everyone just runs together, to be honest. Managed. If you don't stand on those circles, they spawn monsters. And for each step where you need more and more people on them, they spawn bigger and bigger monsters. But we managed. Got some stuff apparently. THC? Isn't that just drugs? What is that, like acid? Oh no, it's cannabis. I have a crystal! Another useless crystal again. I hope Last Epoch is good. I haven't actually ever met anyone who has played Last Epoch to actually say anything about it. Lost Ark, however, seems really, really bad. But I would like to grind in some ARPG. Path of Exile are just not good enough. The FF games connected lore-wise? No, they're all standalone. Except, like, X2, X3, whatever. Those are connected. This one, though, they use a lot of references from the older stuff. Like, Matoya is the witch in Final Fantasy 1. Nintendo. That's who we're talking to here. Lady. They don't typically do that in the other games, only for very specific things. Like, they made a reference to Star Wars with two characters called Biggs and Wedge, who are Resistance fighter pilots in like the first movie in Star Wars 4. And they use those two characters in every single game, plus Sid, who I don't know reference to anything. But otherwise they typically make unique characters. But yeah, there are a couple of names that are reoccurring. But that's it. Final Fantasy is otherwise the most overrated JRPG franchise by far. If not one of the most overrated video game franchises of all times. It's I don't know, dude. Where's my glass? Yeah, it's next to my bed. And not only that, they literally strangled the JRPG franchise during the Super Nintendo era. That's why people stopped making them as well. No. This one's made out of glass, so I can't. A 10 and 9 are like the worst ones for me. 10 is the worst one. 9 is pretty low. 8 is... It's okay. Like, I 7 and 8 are kind of equalish for me, personally. 6 is above them. 5 is probably below. But, the thing is that I don't think that they have good story. And the gameplay is just bad. So really, for me, the only thing that carries Final Fantasy is like the music, the setting, and like the general mood of the game. Because like the gameplay is literally just pressing attack. And that's like it. There are no strategies or thinking or anything. It's just pressing attack. So, light was good. And that's why I like 6, because I just think it has the best mood to it in general. I take it you found the tome. Well, let's see then. Aye, this is it all right. Stola, Borg, put down whatever you're doing and come here. Robin has returned with the tome. Of the workday? Well, could be paid for a lot worse, right? Thank the gods, but another minute under Master Matoya's exacting supervision, and I would certainly have lost my mind, or mayhaps merely my temper. Some things never change indeed. Well, I for one appreciate the exacting supervision. In the short while we have been here, I feel like I have gained a far better understanding of arcane entities than I did during my entire time at the studio. No, an Apu vid. This guy's such a normie, he doesn't even know what Apu is. I bet you don't even know what the Pepe is. Should the opportunity present itself, I would very much like to employ this knowledge for the betterment of mankind. Create a new variety of carbuncle, perhaps. Don't get ahead of yourself, boy. Louis Wild's grandson or no, it'll take another decade under me before you can call yourself a scholar, and a deal more than that before you... that to make you a scholar worth a debt. As you may have gathered, Master Matoya is not easily impressed. Indeed. Ahem, so, Robin has returned with the tome, has he not? Shall we examine it? Thought Patron Apu was just a guy named Apu. Everybody knows what a pepper is. What is Apu? Jesus Christ. Like a bunch of children. Here's Apu. This is Apu. Apu. Here's another Apu. Another Apu. Another Apu. And here's another Apu. Why would I name my Why would I name my character Tibbs? Another one. This is the Peter Cozy's special. I have another one here that I really like. Where is it? Yeah, this is the best Peter Cozy special. There. I made the monster one. Sure.
I had not thought to behold this tome again. There. It is deciphered. Now your friend should be able to make sense of the contents. That said, it's one thing to understand the workings of the etheric converger, and another to actually make it work. You do realize how much ether is required.
Sid is keenly aware of the energy dilemma. His airship is by no means large, and it can only bear a limited quantity of crystals.
If only we had white auracite in the etheric siphon.
Alas, Minfilia is missing along with both artifacts, and Moonbreeder is gone.
Would that there were another ready wellspring of energy for us to draw upon.
Why did it not occur to us before? We already have what we need. The Eye! It has been drawing ether into itself for as long as the Great Worms have lived. It is a veritable wellspring of energy.
Moonbreeder.
It might just suit our needs. But is this energy something that can be harnessed at will?
I believe so, with the aid of the Azure Dragoon of Ishgard.
Then it is settled. Let us return to the Holy See at once.
Stola, wait. When did the light fade from your eyes?
I might have known that it would not escape your notice. It has been this way since I returned from the life stream. An after effect of the teleportation magic I invoked, most like.
They are called forbidden spells for a reason. What were you thinking, girl?
I have no regrets. I but did what was necessary to preserve the light of hope, to keep my promise to Minfilia. Besides, it afforded me the rare opportunity to wander the ether, a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
I need not tell you that it consumes your very life force to see by sensing the
That's
ether
why.
around you. Take care of yourself. Do you hear me?
I will, Master Matoya. And thank you.
Because she's seeing kind of like Geordi does. Star Trek. In a sense. Except she's seeing ether, which is just honestly just energy. Thanks to your customary heroic efforts, we now possess the knowledge to build an etheric ram. All that remains is to secure its energy source. Let us hasten back to Ishgard and consult Sir Emmerich regarding the eye. Fun, because when I see Pepe in text, the first thing I think of is the football player. That is the most normie thing you have said all day. Cotton Knight. Do you know the rules of football? No. What? Ah, you are returned. Sir Emmerich, I am pleased to see that your recovery proceeds apace. May I introduce Y'shtola, a fellow scion of the Seventh Dawn, an Archon of Charmin. My lord, pray excuse me for foregoing due pleasantries. But we seek your counsel regarding the etheric ram. Though we now possess the knowledge to build such a device, we yet lack an appropriate source of energy with which to power it. We believe, however, that Ishgard may possess the solution to our problem. You need not apologize, my lady. Full eager am I to learn of your progress. Please, tell me of this energy source that you believe we possess. Tennis. Oh my god. I absolutely hate tennis. Contact sports are the only ones that's worth watching. Like boxing or... I don't know, Ultimate Fighting is kind of lame. But I guess it's fine. Tennis is a missing sport. That's why it's dog shit. Like 99% of the time, all they're doing is shooting balls into the net. And when it's like really exciting, they maybe hit the ball like 4 or 5 times before it goes into the net. Like it's so uninteresting. Table tennis is 100 million times better than normal tennis. Because they actually play the game. And you are certain that the eye can lend its power to Master Matoya's etheric conversion. At Estinian's command, yes. Very well, I shall speak with him. My thanks, Sir Emery. Nay, my friend, 'tis I who should thank you, as should every Ishgardian. You labor in our name with nary a care for your own safety. Let us next speak with Sid. He will doubtless be eager to begin work on the etheric ram. Yeah, no, I don't know. Sports. Unless they're punching each other, it just like kills my brain cells. I can't watch any of it. But my dad watches tennis all the time, so I'm there sometimes. That's what we end up watching. It's better than snooker. Because there are girls. Well, I'm not horny, so I don't watch. I watch it because of that. To do? Oh, that's fine. That's a completely different thing. Doing sports and watching sports are two completely separate things. Pretty much any sport can be fun to do. Snooker would probably be very, very challenging to play, but watching it is like literally like melting your brain. Duels wouldn't be fun to watch? Why? Depends on the duel. If they're just shooting pistols at each other, that would be super lame. Sword fights would also probably end in like 2 seconds. Probably not very interesting now. If someone gets stabbed and that's just it. I think sword duels would be like watching handball. It's more interesting because people would just die like instantly. You know? And that's just not very fun to watch. So it would be more interesting when people fail to die instantly. So like, oh shit, they're not like instantly dying. And that's kind of what handball is like. Because the second someone is near the goal in handball, there's gonna be a goal. Handball is like, it's more interesting when somebody misses the goal. They hit the goal. Should be a whole dueling sport that just settles baseball bat versus knife. Because they're silly. I mean, I don't know. I don't watch Olympics or duels. Ah, you're back. The preliminary work on the Enterprise is more or less finished. Tell me you found a way to build the etheric ram. Greetings, Sid. It has been a while. This tome contains the fruits of my former master's research on a device known as an etheric converger. Our ram should operate on the self-same principle. Ah, where are my manners? Put a toy like this in my hand and I go off into my own world. Gods, it's good to see you, and bearing a gift besides. A very distracting one, if I might add. If I didn't know better, I'd think it was my name's day. But there will be some time for tearful reunions later. I'll make a start for the tome right away. So long as I have a grasp of the fundamentals, I should be able to knock something together, which leaves the small matter of the energy source. We believe we have found a solution to that problem as well. Pray, forgive us our lateness. Yu-Gi-Oh! Duels, but with holograms like the anime, that would be terrible as well, because it would also end in one turn. That's how Yu-Gi-Oh! Is played. The power of the eye is not to be drawn upon lightly, but I believe we have sufficient cause to do so. This is the fabled eye. By the 12, it seethes. A wonder such power can be contained, much less controlled. Boys, our friends have kindly provided all the ingredients. Let's see if we can't make something out of it. You heard the chief. We're not resting till the etheric ram is operational. Not one wink of sleep. Oh, mumble mumble, cart chocobo. Hate my current sword. If we can change that. Could get something new here. Just as bad. Boomba failing me again. Is it getting stuck on the cats? Charlian Custodian Coat. Oh. I don't want that. Why would I want to dress like this? Is this our new Paladin gear? Alright, fine. This is our new Paladin gear. Alas, Sid requires my assistance with Master Matoya's rather singular writing. Might I entrust the task of visiting those who will remain behind to you? He said something that I skipped. Dean Stockwell? Who's that? So the hour is nigh. Would that I could join you in the coming battle, but with my wounds I fear I would only be a burden to you. Oh, is that the main character? Or what? There's a lot of people in Quantum Leap. Buddy character? I've only watched the Jimmy episode. I don't really know who you're referring to. But it's the guy who talks to him after he's jumped. In consorting with the Asians and availing himself of primal powers, my father made himself an enemy of all that is good and right in the world. Do whatever you must to end his madness. May the Fury watch over you. Speak with Hilda in the broom. I'm gonna change the way our sword looks at least. Like Canadian bastard sword. That's better. This is it then. Go well, my friend. I shall pray to the Fury for your preservation. Huh? Mayhap you think it strange that a daughter of Garlemald should pray. I do not blame you. I used to think it passing strange myself. But that all changed when I discovered something dearer to me than mine own life. Thereafter, praying seemed the most natural thing in the world. Prayers are born of heartfelt faith, in manipulating the people's belief for its own twisted ends. The Archbishop makes a mockery of their very existence. It cannot be borne. Cannot be borne. So, you're off to face the Archbishop then? When did you get this hat, dude? What is that? So, you're off to face the Archbishop then? Please be careful. And watch over the others, will you? We have lost too many friends as it is. Some may yet return to us, but I couldn't bear to lose anyone else. I just couldn't. I realize it's asking a lot, but you're the strongest person I know, and I don't think there's anything you can't achieve if you put your mind to it. So please, whatever else happens, keep everyone safe. Speak with Hilda. Well, if it isn't my old friend Robin, I'll have to face the Archbishop and his cronies, is it? I'd love to go and give those bastards a good walloping myself. That snake Charibert Charibert, especially. But I've got to stay here and keep an eye on things. With the Archbishop gone, some of the poor folk might get in their heads to do something stupid, like storming the pillars. But blood won't get us what we want, and I need to be around to remind them of that in case they forget. No need to worry about us anyway. I'll work with Sir Emmerich to preserve the peace. You just concentrate on settling the score with the Archbishop, eh? I still need to figure out what to rename my channel to. Like Robin God Gamer or something like that. God Uber Gamer Robin the Uber Gamer. I'm not sure. Porton Man. Teleport, it's over here. Last vigil. Alright, Nicholas. Thanks for hanging. Good one. Master Tia, how good of you to pay me a visit. Master Virgin, that's literally what they say. It feels as if it feels as if it were only yesterday when we first met here in this chamber. You came to us, a fugitive seeking asylum, and now you bear the hopes of our nation upon your shoulders. He would not have told you, but when Archifon begged me to accept you into our household, he described you as hope incarnate. At the time I assumed he was waxing lyrical, as was his wont. I have come to see that he simply spoke the truth. You are hope, a shining beacon that shall guide the people of Ishgard through the raging snowstorm. A memento. Were my son here, he would have wished to fight at your side in the battle to come. Take care, my friend, and return to us. Wonder if I have any meatballs. I'm not sure I have any food. I always eat just rice. Rice and an egg. Count Edmund bequeathed to you Lord Harshifon's shield, a noble gesture. We bear the hopes and dreams of full many souls. Let their faith in us be a source of strength and courage as we face our remaining trials. Work on the Enterprise is nearly complete. Let your Stola know to make ready.
Until but recently, the Ishgardians have kept their doors firmly shut to outsiders. But thanks to you, we have found in them stout allies with whom we may fight to secure the future of the realm. Truly, you are the beacon of hope towards which all men are drawn.
Spare us the hyperbole. 'Tis not for praise that we fight.
Oh? In light of all we have achieved, I felt it only meet to express my gratitude.
All that we have achieved. Spoken like a true outsider. Until the war is over, we have achieved nothing. The coming battle is a chance to excise the root of this conflict, and by my hand it shall be done. Then you may speak of achievement.
'Twas not mine intent to make light of your struggle. If I have given offense, then I apologize. But if I may speak freely, you would do well to be wary of the Eye. Even now, it burns with insatiable hatred, watching unblinking for a sign of weakness. Should you falter for so much as a moment, it will surely consume you.
Save your concern. I will consume the Eye ere I let it consume me. 12 be praised. Thou hast not yet set forth. Cross sand and snow have I journeyed, that I might deliver this gift unto thee.
White Auracite. But whence did it come?
To mine amazement, it lay hid amongst Moonbreeder's last effects. 'Twas but blind chance or providence that I did hap to spy it. Let no man claim that my late friend e'er erred for lack of foresight. In the place whither thou goest, servants of darkness do lie in wait. Pray, give unto me thy pledge that thou wilt strike them down and avenge our fallen comrade.
Let us go, Robin, as his law awaits. Go.
Ah, excellent timing. We've just finished our work on the Enterprise. She's so much improved, I've decided to give her a new name to suit. The Enterprise Excelsior. Or simply the Excelsior if pressed for time. Once again, she'll carry Eorzea's protectors into battle.
The Sneed Feedboat, or the Feedboat for short. Used to be the Sneed Boat, now it's the Feedboat.
All aboard!
I can do no more than see you off with prayers for your safety and success. Yet know that wheresoever you may go, my son's spirit goes with you. May the Fury grant you strength.
Return to us, all of you.
Don't think doing a trial will be enough to level
Enterprise
us up.
Excelsior. Engage.
Eden Feedboat.
This is it! Get ready!
Eye of mine enemy, render unto me thy power!
Same guy.
No, you will not claim me. I am the master.
through!
Hasn't used them eye much before that conversation.
Chief, we've got an Imperial battleship on our tail, and it's bleeding massive.
Damn it! The bastards were waiting for us to open the door for them.
They have mentioned several times before.
I'm gonna try to shake them. Hang on to something.
That the eye is struggling for control.
We're all going to die! Tataru!
She won't take much more of this!
The time is come to use Hydaelyn's gift. Much blood has been spilled in my name. And for what? For a false cause that I created for want of the warmth of companionship. Saint Shiva, pray Svelga, pray forgive this fool. But even now, I cannot let go of my dream. My dream of a tomorrow in which no child need freeze alone in the snow. Thank you, Svelga.
Is that Azelle? What does she mean to do?
O goddess, born of mine own hopes and dreams, for the last time, I beseech you, fill this vessel with your light, still the hatred within our hearts, and bless us with eternal grace! Farewell, warrior of light. And thank you for showing me the way.
No!
The cannon explosions are like they're such a weak, lame sound effects and animations.
This ether. It was a crystal of light. She, too, was one of Hydaelyn's chosen.
Fare you well, my lady.
Hraesvelgr just brings her there, and then he just like fucks off. Whatever. I'm just gonna leave her to die. Bye bye. And then he just leaves. He does nothing. I always hated that scene because of that. It just like I understand they wanted to put like death scenes. This expansion, but both Harshiphon and those scenes have such little build-up that it just comes out of nowhere, and it has no impact when they're done. Phew! I don't know about you, but I'm glad to be back on solid ground, even if said ground is floating in the sky. That Imperial battleship appeared, I honestly thought we were finished, and we would have been, had your friend not arrived when she did. Well, grant her mercy. Brief though our time was together, Isael was a true friend, a gentle soul, who fought for her beliefs. Yeah, she would have made a fine scion. What is a scion but one who fights for our cause? Our hopes survived thanks to her sacrifice. Let that be enough. Yet I cannot help but wonder, how came she to know of our presence here? From Hraesvelgr, I would wager. He will have felt my channeling of the Eye's power. It would seem they were able to make peace with one another in the end. She gave her life because she believed in us. We owe it to her to see our mission through. See that dome-like structure further in. Let's make our way there. The Isle's sentinels don't seem to frequent this area. We should be safe here. Let's talk strategy, shall we? First of all, in the interests of efficiency, I suggest we make this place our base camp. We can coordinate the search for the Archbishop from here. I have no objections. Now that we stand upon Asisla, I am struck by the vastness of the isle. We must needs be methodical if we are to find our quarry. Good. Now, unless I'm mistaken, this used to be an airship landing, and a major one at that. From what I know of Elegon design, there should be a terminal nearby that's linked to the Isle's operational heart. If we can find such a terminal, we should be able to learn something of the Archbishop's whereabouts. Let's split up and look for it. The Empire borrowed most of its technology from Allagan relics. If we can find the terminal, I reckon we can operate. What ungodly vessels must the Allagans have built to warrant so vast a land? Very good question. Could be that thing, maybe? Machines are beyond my ken. I shall leave it to the others to find this terminal. Of more concern to me are the dragons that I sense nearby. Nothing? Damn it. There's just this terminal but it doesn't respond to anything I do. Any bright ideas, Wedge? Wedge? He was here just a moment ago. Oh, don't tell me he wandered off. I'm sorry, Robin, but could you help me search for him? Absent-minded as he is, I worry that he strayed beyond the landing area and made friends with the local sentinels. Of course he has. Silly little dumb potato man. Are you a samurai? He's a samurai. I thought it was a he. Ow! Wedge, are you alright? I'm fine, Chief. I just tripped, that's all. Fool of a Lalafell. What were you thinking coming here on your own? Death by overwork is one thing. Death by stupidity quite another. I'm sorry, Chief, but I think I found something. What's this? The wreck of a sentinel. This is no wreck, Chief. She's still operational. See? Have I tried making pancakes without milk yet? Water pancakes. Blip. Initiating. Performing diagnostics. Blip. Diagnostics complete. To proceed, please agree to the terms and conditions of use. I suppose. Thank you. To register as a user, please state your name. I'm Wedge, and that there is Robin. They're fine without eggs, at least. User registration complete. Welcome to Azizlan, Master Wedge and Master Robin. I am Guidance Node GLI. This isn't quite what I had in mind, but it might just serve. Wedge, bring the node this way, would you? There's something I'd like to try. Note, I need a status report on the facility. Gilly, you have to do what the chief says. Yes, that's That's it. Good girl. Ah, here we are. Not much of note. It appears someone recently reactivated Helix, which is this area. Reactivated, you say? By the Archbishop, I'd wager. By the Archbishop, I'd wager. I dare say he woke the place up when he used the Vanu's key. Are there any other people in the facility? If so, where? Let's see here. On the flagship, there's the central aisle. I'm seeing positive readings within the etherochemical research facility and the fractal continuum. And what have we here? Intruders detected in the Gamma Quadrant. Defense system engaged. Our Imperial friends, I suspect. I hope they enjoy the defense system. But what of the Archbishop and his cronies? What might offer an indication? Ah, but how about this? Which area is currently consuming the most energy? Somewhere called Triad Control, inside the research facility. And what manner of place is that? It is, and I quote, a regulation facility for the warring Triad test subjects. And that is all it says. The rest of the information is only accessible to users with consular privileges. I mislike the sound of this, which leads me to believe that it is indeed the place. I am inclined to agree with Yerstola. Whatever it is that the Archbishop seeks, it is like to be there. That settles it then. Let's find a way to cross over to the flagship. This place is based on Final Fantasy VI in the end of the World of Light, or the World of Balance, I think it's called. When you go up to the floating island. The Warring Triad are the three statues that hold the balance of the world's magic in 6 FF places. Plus, it's a floating island. Flip. Greetings, Master Robin. Is there anything you wish to know? Tell me how to reach the Etherochemical Research Facility. Requesting access to the Etherochemical Research Facility. Access granted. Generating route. Flip. Route generated. Commencing guidance to chosen destination. Please be aware that the designated route may take you through restricted sectors, and that the Isle's defense systems may attempt to terminate you. Be kindly reminded that in accordance with the terms and conditions of use, you and your party assume all risk of damage or injury, including death, that may occur en route to your destination. So here's what I actually think we'll do here. Instead of continuing, we are going to do level 50, 60, 70 roulette. And after that, we'll do the last Paladin quest. Then we will continue the rest. Because otherwise it's going to be a very awkward part of it where we have to end. Where do we have to go? Let's see here. Where did we leave the boy? I think it is in Falcon's Nest still. Or maybe not. Well, we'll find out. Hi guys, they are over here somewhere. There. Let's go to Idleshire. Oh, there we go. Well. Craft or someone who is taking a poop right now. Craft. Oh, Froggy. on. Now we have two big tanks. Just have to pray that the healer knows what they're doing. Which is apparently not the case. Dude, just press the AoE button! You don't use Medica 2! It's so easy! Literally just have to press Medica 2. You don't regen the party members. You regen the tank. Everyone else gets medic. That's all. That's literally all the healing you need to put on the party members, more or less. Come on. Come on, and we heal. Come on. Don't stand near the bump. Jesus Christ. I won the boss DPS. Oh, I'm not picking it up. It really, the only thing that you really need to do as White Mage is keep up Medica 2 and Regen. As long as you're keeping those two up, you can pretty much just DPS the entire dungeon. But if you only keeping up Regen, it's not. You have to keep up. Medica 2 is a regen, is just a healing over time from the target. And Medica 2 is a healing over time that affects everyone in an AoE. So you can stack both those on the tank. Which means that the tank gets big single target healing over like 30 seconds or whatever. And everyone else just has healing all the time, so they just never die. Then you just DPS things. Stop running into the boss. What are you doing? At least let me explain. You're a noob. Yep, you're dead. This person is spamming Doom Spike, single target. I would try to teach them not to use Doom Spike on single target, but if you're using Doom Spike on single target, you're literally like, you have to be retarded. They're like 9 years old at most. So, like, even a 9-year-old will know better. Like, unironically, they will. Yes. Yes, this person, it's not that they're here. This person is above level 50, so this might be their first time. But this is 100 hours plus into the game. And they still haven't figured out what their single target buttons are. And they get their single target buttons before they get the AoE button. But now it's... No, they're still just using the AoE button. They must be like basing it on the animations that they want to use. I mean, it could be worse. They're doing okay when we're AoEing, but like during the bosses, it's just so bad. Like he might as well be standing there and auto attacking. It would be insane. His summoner is doing a little bit better, but he's still... I wonder if he's using his dog. Who's the... Kagetsu? Can't see what he's using.
Who treadeth now upon my bones?
We should be able to. It's not showing. They are 100% going south. We might also die. Because the DPS needs to kill the flying birds so we can not die. Oh! Holy shit! He actually moved into the thing. A lot of these AoEs aren't really worth moving out of as the tank. You can just pop a defensive cooldown and hit them. That way you aren't like dragging AoEs towards the others. Someone use it. How is the Dragoon winning the DPS over the Summoner? How? How is that even possible? I'm gonna use mine. I don't think I leveled up. Oof. That was bad. Hinterlands, Maker's Quarters. But these, honestly, they're not worth doing for... The hunts aren't really worth doing for the XP, to be honest. You can just, like, have them in case you run past them or whatever. It's less XP than doing, like, one fate. And fates aren't worth doing either. Like, dungeons are just so ridiculously overpowered getting at everything else. That's not a good thing, actually. It's one of the things I really don't like about the game. Everything in the world feels too useless. And that's why I would like something that's more sandboxy. But things feel like they have a purpose. Because here it's... like, there's no point in attacking like that anyway. None at all. At best, you can, like, farm some crafting material. But that also doesn't really matter. What about rat bears? Are rat bears okay? They're better than our all bears. Saber-tooth rat bears. No? Okay. All non-ancient chimeras are unacceptable. Okay. But we'll end it there then. Time for anything. And I was going to just do the last step of the Paladin quest, but honestly there's not even enough of that. And we didn't level up, so we can't do it. Tomorrow, programming stream again. We're this close. I need to figure out how to check in a point inside a polygon, which seems like absolute rocket science. So now I'm going to go and put more flour into my bread dough. But until next time, thanks for hanging. Have a good night. Bye-bye. Thank you. Bread elemental. No, I don't want him living. I want to eat him.